Ladies and gents, we finally have a tactic for you if you're looking at the lower leagues. Let's take a look. At least I assume this is for the lower leagues. This has a Sheffield FC logo on it, on the picture. This is called the Escapism Deluxe. And the only description that's in it on the Steam Workshop says pressing and free-flowing 4-2-4 that emphasizes being on the front foot to overwhelm the opponents. This tactic was based on RDF's Julian Nagelsmith's 4-2-3-1 from FM23. In the lower levels, it is advised to change the complete forwards to advanced forwards and deep lying forwards. So they've tried it out with the lower leagues as well as probably some upper leagues, and it seems to have worked for them. We don't see any screenshots or anything like that, but this is the tactic itself. It is a sweeper keeper in attack. You can see it is a 4-2-4. Two fullbacks on support, a central defender on defend, a no-nonsense center back in defend, a deep-lying playmaker in defend in the midfield, Mazzala in support, two wingers both on attack, a complete forward and a complete forward, or one in attack, one in support. But again, it does say in the lower leagues, change those complete forwards to advanced forwards, to an advanced forward and a deep lying forward. So change that to an advanced forward, change this to a deep lying forward, and you've got your lower league tactic right there. It is a custom gegenpress, positive mentality, in possession, attacking width is fairly wide, approach play is fast into space, overlap the left and right, focus play on the left and right, and play out of defense. Passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, mixed crosses, and run at defense. In transition, counterpress, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the center backs, and then take short kicks. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. But now, how did it do with our three teams? Not great. You can see Newcastle does come in Conference League spot at 7th. Tottenham in 9th was not great, especially at 54 points. Wolves just avoiding relegation by 2 whopping points. So definitely did not work for them. Newcastle in Conference League is not too bad. I think you could get there anyway without this tactic. There are probably better 4-2-4 tactics. But again, that's what the sim does. It screws with everything, and this is what you end up with. Newcastle's schedule actually does look pretty nice. Liverpool 1-2 right off the bat, but then a sea of green and a couple of draws there. Thought you got Aston Villa loss, you got a Tottenham loss, but not by much. Only 2-3, 6-4 against Manchester City. A fantastic away win right there. You move it on in the EFL Cup 3rd round. You move on in the 4th round against Tottenham. Wow, you keep going, don't you? Up until the 5th round where you lose out to Tottenham 2-6. Was that? Oh, that must be the EFL Cup. There you go. But EFL Cup final, you do lose out to Liverpool, the absolute killer in most of these tactic talks. But 0-2 at Wembley, you got to a final. That is a fantastic effort right there. Second half of the season, I mean, look at this January, though. Minus that 1-2 loss to Leicester, fantastic. And then just completely spotty from there on out. Arsenal 2-5. Tottenham starting off a bit spottier, 0-5 to Manchester City, 3-5 to Leicester. Wow, Leicester's crushing it. But a couple wins, a couple losses. There you go. Champions League not doing very well. Well, you got a couple right there. So you're just losing out to Real Madrid, of course. Real Madrid again. You should have moved on. Yep, there you go. You do beat PSG at home. You lose by a far margin, 1-5 to PSG away from home. Second half of the season does look a lot better. You do lose out there. You go to that Newcastle 2-4 loss in the EFL Cup 4th round. FA Cup you continue on. FA Cup quarters, FA Cup semis. And then you lose out to Arsenal 0-1 FA Cup final, an all-London final, and a not very good one for Tottenham. And then Wolves. Yeah, you got a couple of greens here and there. You move on in this EFL Cup. But wow, I mean, I guess October was good. November was kind of good. You do lose out to Fulham in the 2-4 in the EFL Cup 3rd round. FA Cup you move on up until this Bournemouth match, 1-2. And then, I mean, 2 losses, 2 draws, 2 wins in April, and then a just miserable May. 3 games by 1 goal. That's not too bad, and hopefully you can overcome at least one of them. Transfer-wise, you've got pretty much the same as always. You do have Milan Skriniar from Inter, 32.5. Joseph Schutala we've seen before. And really, I mean, no one gets rid of any players now. They're all loans or they're all these low fees. So Tottenham, Marius Wolf from Borussia Dortmund for 8.5. Andre Silva from Leipzig for 18.25. Tony Weston we've seen. Matthias Zuraco from ATM, 13.25. I'm not sure what ATM is. It's in the Brazilian league, right? Atletico Mineiro or something like that. And then Marshall Ruddy from Toronto FC for 6. But again, not getting rid of anyone, just all loans or Tananga to Borussia Dortmund we've seen before. Well, Wolves did spend a little bit. Ricardo Escaio from Sporting for 3.2. Bruno Varela from Vitória de Guimarães, 3.1. And then, yeah, 16.25 actually for Jose Sa. Not too bad for Porto, but I think we have seen that before. As usual, pause where you want to see it. 7.25 for Fabian Schär. Not too bad. You do have a lot more green. So for Newcastle, 7.29 for Miguel Almiron. 7.63 for Isaac. Fantastic. Tottenham, not nearly as many green. However, 7.34 for Son. 7.25 for Kane. Not too bad. And then Wolves. 7.16, Jimenez and Traore. Not too bad, actually. Most goals, Newcastle and Tottenham, 76 and 69 apiece. Not too bad there, especially Tottenham finding themselves a little bit lower in the table. Nobody for fewest shots. Most possession, though, Tottenham is there. Dribbles, Newcastle. Fewest conceded. Nobody, no shutouts. Tottenham in 8th with 11. Most tackles when you do have Tottenham and Wolves, so you have a little bit of defensive work. Wolves, though, ouch. 793. Best passing is not a thing for these teams and for this tactic. Newcastle and Tottenham for most shots. And then most points, you got Newcastle in there. Haaland, of course, with 40. But Kane comes in with 24 goals. Wilson with 21. Isaac with 20 as Son. Most assists, you got Trippier leading the charts with 14. Isaac with Newcastle in 11th, or with 11, and St. Maximin with 11 as well. Most player of the match awards, Isaac, Traore, and Kane, all with 7 apiece. But passing, nothing. Dribbles made, St. Maximin and Traore. Bruno Varela with Wolves, fewest conceded, 31. Most shutouts, Hugo Lloris, Nick Pope both make the list, 11 and 10 apiece. Most tackles, nobody. Key passes, Trippier as usual. No Semedo, no Sarabia, but Isaac and Wilson, all with most shots. Harry Kane up there as well. Newcastle, Callum Wilson and Alexander Isaac, 29 goals apiece in all competitions. That is an amazing result. Fantastic for individually either of them, but together 29. Wow. Alexander Isaac was 7.63 though. St. Maximin with 16 assists, and most player of the match awards, Isaac with 11. A fantastic result for Newcastle right there. Harry Kane with 30 goals for Tottenham. A really good result there. High, kind of on the high end of average for him. Actually, no, I would say that's probably higher than average. Son with 7.34, fantastic. Assist, Kulusevski with 12, and the most player of the match awards 8, and even 8's probably higher than average for this team. And then we hit Wolves. I mean, Jimenez with 22 goals is actually a fantastic result. Traore with 7.16 is probably bang on average, not for Traore, but for this team. Most assists, Traore with 11. He really came out this season. And then most player of the match awards 8 for Traore. He did a fantastic job with this team. Overall, though, this tactic did not work for Wolves whatsoever. I mean, they could have brought up some of these draws. I mean, only 6 draws, though, still. But Tottenham, probably average, if not a little bit lower than average at 54 points. Newcastle was 65, probably about average. There are definitely other 4-2-4s that have done much better jobs. And then we got this one. But anyway, that's it for me. Sevian FM for the Football Manager blog channel saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.